All right, I'm here. I'm back for Dawnbringer, back in my office to do it. Sorry for the delay on this one. I had to run some errands today and missed one of the games actually, so I didn't get to watch the Mad Lions against Genji game live, which is unfortunate as it turned out, but it was still fun to watch afterwards. Threw off my rhythm a little bit, but here I am doing the summary, end of the day. So let's remind myself of what I thought of the day. So a few takeaways. Obviously, Mad Lions Genji, maybe one of the best games to watch of the tournament so far. Super entertaining. So many kills, just big team fights. Mad Lions comp was a big part of it, but they also executed the team fights really well. I thought Carzzy had some really good fights, especially earlier on, and Humanoid was doing a lot of cleanup later. They used all their engage tools and layered them really well. There were some issues on the Genji side with putting themselves in position to be hit by, the Wukong ultimate with the Yumi on top, and then the Kiana ult layering in over the top of that. Like, they walked into chokes a little bit. Genji had some fights where they managed better and got a cleaner kind of front and back line setup, were able to prevent themselves from being put, near terrain and things like that. But on the whole, Mad Lions positioned themselves better for that, and I thought they were comped a little bit better for it. And exciting game and big win for them. And that was kind of the opposite of what we got out of Team Liquid. Unfortunately, they just kind of sleepwalked into the game and rolled over a little bit. But we'll go again tomorrow, and hopefully they'll bring out something a little bit more energetic, keep themselves in it. I still think they can get out of this group, but yeah, they're gonna have to obviously do better than they did today. And in terms of North America, thank goodness 100 Thieves came in and didn't drop the ball against Detonation Focus Me. So good for them, good cleanup. But tomorrow's the really big test for 100 Thieves against T1. That game is going to be really crucial to finding out. I think 100 Thieves can win it. Honestly, I might even end up predicting them to win it. I think they've got really good tools in it. I don't think T1 have really impressed me that much yet. So we will see. A few other thoughts. I mean, obviously PSG beating Hanwha, I predicted that coming in. And I think it's just, I feel like I'm harping on Hanwha a lot, but this was just another, brick in the wall that I'm building of Hanwha. Don't buy into them. I don't think they're good. I think, especially compared to a team like PSG, that is pretty good. Depending what level of opponent you're playing against, Hanwha can outskill and look pretty good. And in the play-ins, rather, obviously they came through. But I don't think on the whole Hanwha are really a contender by any means. And I would have picked them to come out last in their group if it wasn't for the Fnatic circumstances. So a piece of evidence to support that. Cloud9 was really painful today. That felt so bad. Just because it's like when you build your hopes up and then have them dashed, right? Like, that feels worse than going in with low expectations and having those low expectations be met. Cloud9 were looking so good, and in some parts of this game making really good plays. Perks was really fed. Blabber was doing some really good stuff, and he was working with the prio from Sven and Vulcan and making good choices. And then, a few different small throws and then a couple of really big throws towards the end. Perks especially on just, there was one that was really egregious where he took I believe he took the bot lane inner turret on a bit of a cross map play, but then he greeted and tried to crash all the way to the inhibitor instead of resetting for tempo and coming out for the next sequence. And he gave up a pick, and I think, if I'm remembering right, I don't want to go and scroll through my notes while we're doing this, but I think that one even led to a Baron or something like that. It was really crucial. And of course, everybody's going to remember what happened right at the end of the game where he's off, trying to hit the Nexus on his own and just giving up a 5v4 in his own base that ends the game. But it was before that it really mattered. And so it's so, like, Cloud9 have all the skill to put this together and contend with any team, literally any team in the world. They have the skill to take a game off of. It doesn't mean they're going to go in favorite against some of these best teams, but they can do it. Like, all those players are really, really good. But they manage to find ways to lose games and to hit kind of the low end of their potential far too often. It's really disappointing. And I mean, if you go back all the way to like November, December, when this roster was being put together, obviously with, just adding Perks into it kind of thing, and Fudge coming in, and, the expectations and hope I had for them, I have had such high hopes and expectations for this team all year long. And every now and then they hit them, and they keep me on the leash, and then feel like I get dropped a little bit, and I think a lot of us do, and it's hard, right? And I'm sure it's hard for them too, and they aren't going to feel good about it, but it is what it is. We try to enjoy the ride and get on with it. And hopefully they can kind of hit the high end of that and see some more of those positive signs before the end of the tournament. And then just a final thought. Last year I came into Worlds and I was saying, hey, I'm on the top esports train. From what I remember, at least, I was saying they were my favorites. They're going to win the whole thing. And then I'm pretty sure it was after day 1. It might have been after day 2. I pivoted and I said, okay, never mind. Damon's going to win this thing. And then they did. I am pulling what might turn out to be the same kind of thing this year. I was saying FPX coming in. After watching EDG in these first couple of days, I am changing my mind. I think EDG are going to win Worlds this year. Maybe I'll be right. Maybe I'll end up flip-flopping back. I don't know. I reserve the right to change my opinion at any point. But that's what I have settled on at this point. Getting a little bit more familiar with the teams. Edward Gaming, my favorites now. Flandre has been impressing me more than I thought he would. And I've always been a Flandre fan, but I didn't watch him that closely this year. Yeah, I think he's been good this year. Obviously, Scout had a good day. And what can you say about their bottom lane? So, we'll see. I think it's China's year. A lot of people thought it was last year, but I think it's China's year this year. And hopefully, we can get 1 or 2 Western teams, maybe 2 or 3 Western teams and 1 or 2 NA teams out of the groups to at least give us some good matches against them on the way. So that's it. Those are my thoughts. I've already got my fantasy lineups up for tomorrow. The lineup I recommended for today worked out pretty well for me. I don't know how it worked out for you, so let me know in the comments if you ran that lineup either on YouTube or on the Patreon posts. I'm always interested in how it works out for other people too, because we might have entered different contests. But yeah, check that out on the Patreon, patreon.com/oracleselixir if you haven't been already. And thanks to everybody who's been joining over there with new subscriptions to come along for the ride. So those are my thoughts. Sorry again that it's late today. Hopefully it will be not delayed tomorrow, but then we've got a break for 1 day. And yeah, it's been a really good tournament so far, I think. But now I'm just rambling, which is what I do when I'm this sleep deprived. So I'm going to go have a nap or something. Bye.